Hello, welcome along to episode 1. We are going to be talking about friendships today and how is it that you make a friendship as an adult? Because when you're kids, you're sort of conditioned to make friends with, I guess, cousins, family, and people who live around about you. But as an adult, it's a wee bit more difficult. You can't really chap on the new person's door who's moved in and say, "Here, do you want to be my pal?" But aye, let's get some info and some insights from our four shades of reality lassies. Well, I start off with you, Daniela. How is it that you think? What? How do you make friendships in today's world?
So when I came to Scotland, I was terribly lonely, very depressed, really unhappy. Um, and I remember I was probably mobbing around, and people were like, "What's wrong with her?" So one of the girls was asking, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I really miss to go for a coffee in the morning and having a chat." So I started to have a friend, one friend, after 3 years living in Scotland, and just being more confident and speaking with people what you meet anywhere. And I have special friends now everywhere, but it's really, really nice. But I was struggling first because Scotland has a different way. There is much family. It's a clan, and getting in as an outsider with my accent wasn't easy.
That's really interesting, actually, because we've got
Mhm.
that as one of the pointers here, that kind of inner circle idea. So when you came here to Scotland, you didn't have that inner circle, did you? You just sort of had to brained your way in.
I had actually just my ex-partner,
Yeah.
um, and he was just like, "You
Mhm.
need to go and look for your friends. I can't help you with this." And I was like, "What?" So it was tough.
Yeah.
But I think I have now so many beautiful friends, new friends, old friends, friends for life, friends. But I can't even see what they mean to me. They're very, very special.
Mhm.
I'm
That's
very,
lovely.
very lucky.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what about you?
I found that when I actually was younger, I had a big group of friends, and then I moved away, and I didn't take into consideration what that would mean for friendship. And when I got a little bit older and moved back, I realised I too was feeling quite lonely. I didn't have those special women that I could go to. And there was a moment in time when I had young children, and I really, really missed it. It was very obvious to me that I was missing that in my life, and so I really just made a conscious effort to, I suppose, start making conversation with people that maybe I found them a bit warm, genuine, and thinking, yeah, like who could I be friends with? And um, we had the same interests, so a lot of it came from um, other mums, because my children were young and they had children of the same age. So we had that shared interest, and it was nice to have just people to pass the time with, to share your concerns with again, and other mums that were just going through the same thing. So that's where my adult friendships have come from. Um, and I must say, I'm probably enjoying my adult friendships now more than sort of my younger self friendships.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
What is it, do you think, that's more enjoyable as an adult friendship than what it was with a with a
I,
younger self?
yeah, I think with your younger self, you probably change yourself a lot to fit in to the crowd, and you probably don't want to stand out too much, so you don't follow your own path really. Um, but as you get older, you become more aware of who you are, and you sort of seek friendships with people who are more sort of on your wavelength and like to do the same things as you. So I would say my adult friendships are probably more in tune with who I am.
I like that actually,
Hmm.
because then it's in tune with who you are and not in
Hmm.
tune with just what your
Hmm. Just
postcode
trying to
was
fit
and
in,
what
yes.
your year group in school
Hmm.
was
Yeah,
doing, and
exactly.
just sort of
Hmm.
here you are clustered in with a group of Are the young team and
Mhm.
forced to get on with it.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
We'll come on to kind of values and things in a bit, because I think that makes good friendships as
Mhm.
well, having values that are in common. June, what about you? What do you think makes a friend, or what do you think?
Most of my friendships were formed out of people that I met at work. Um, I've done a big move sort of twice in my life. And recently, a couple of years ago, was the second time. So I now have lots of friends that I only connect with online or on the phone that way, and they will always remain friends. But I think making friends when you're older is a lot. It's more difficult. Um, and I guess I met people through work and people who that you're drawn to each other because you both feel the need for connection. I guess that's how I became friends with Daniela.
Mhm.
But there's other people that I've met through work that you wouldn't think that are less likely friends. But when you sort of drill down, when you get to know each other, which you do with people that you work with, you do get to know people on a different level. And then sometimes you find that although those people have very different lives, you do have similar values
Mhm.
and ideas about things that you can, it's then safe to share who you are with those people. So yeah, I've got a few sort of people that are developing into friendships now. And Danielle is a good friend
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
And I like that as well. It's like an organic kind of growing friendship. First, you're colleagues with somebody, and then you've got to just, you're going to work with them. You're meeting the same kind of people, or you're doing the same kind of tasks as them. But that organic growth just comes from, and we'll go on and talk about your kind of values and friendships, because I think that's really, really important. And I think it's something that we do as adults that we didn't really consider as kids. Is the values and friendships. I'm really lucky actually, because I'm still best friends with my friend that I was best pals with when I was 6. So in a way, we've kind of grown together. So we've gone off and done different things. And there was a period of time when we didn't really see each other, but we came back round again, and it was so nice because looking back and reflecting on it, we were pals at 6, but we don't now as 40-year-old women walk about trying to do like Spice Girls dances together. Do you know what I mean? But we definitely do share values and share interests in TV and cinema and music and whatever else. So when we think about friendships when we're younger, and I love what you were saying, Anne, the friendships that you have now as an adult, they've sort of grown into who you want to be. It's almost like that kind of tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
Like what you would tolerate as a 14-year-old,
Mhm.
somebody being a bit bitchy or a
Mhm.
bit like kind of, you're going, I don't quite agree with what they said. I think that was quite mean. You'd have shove that under the carpet, wouldn't you? But as an adult, you're going, actually, no, I don't want to waste any more of my time there.
Mhm.
But I want to actually let's move into values chat. What is it that you value in a friend? And anybody feel free just to jump in.
Mhm.
I would say it's the having that safety, like a real good friend, and feeling safe to be able to say what's on your mind and what you're thinking, and know that I don't know that you wouldn't be judged or
Mhm.
yeah.
I think you're right there, June. For me, the minute I feel any kind of judgment from it, that's it for me. I shut down. I'm not sharing anymore. Yeah, and that'll take me right out of the conversation and possibly the friendship, or I'll definitely pull back anyway. I don't want to be judged. I want to be able to just be myself, and I certainly won't be judging any of my friends for any of their choices. And that's a massive value for me, is non-judgment and trust.
For me, to have friends where I can be myself in good and bad days. And I did go through quite hard time lately. And having people who just get me, it's absolutely beautiful. Very, very lucky that I have this. I was thinking when you were speaking, actually, when I started to try to get friends here, my barrier was so low that anyone could come in. But with time, you start to see,
Mhm.
and then you stop. I think I am quite happy to give anyone a chance to be a friend. But it's true, friends where I carry my heart and I'm myself, completely myself. I need to have an understanding that they can see me and not what they think I am, what their belief I should be.
Mhm.
Someone who is just there and understands. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that as well. I think what you're saying, that able to be yourself so that you're not trying to put on a performance or wear a mask. For me, I think something that's quite important actually is ease, this sense of effortlessness.
Mhm.
We're so busy, and I'm sure we've all, even listeners, we've all had friendships in the past where the expectation that somebody has of you is massive, because you're never going to be able to live up to an expectation of somebody answering every text as soon as they'll text you, or for me it's I'm not a big fan of watching the tick on WhatsApp and somebody saying, yeah, I know that you've read my message, why didn't you reply? And that it's
Mhm.
ease for me. Let it be easy and not difficult. I'm not saying that I'm not going to put any effort or energy into a friendship, because I really, really do. But if it starts to feel as if a wee bit like you, Anne, being judged, or there's this massive expectation on a friendship, or you, it just starts to feel tiring and bringing your own energy down as well. And for me, that's when I kind of start to step back, when things feel as if they are quite to feel like hard work. Although some friendships are worth the work, let's be honest, some friendships really are worth the work as well, especially those inner circle ones. So for me, it's the ease of it, just that ease and effortlessness. But I've got to say as well, whenever I notice somebody who's not compassionate and doesn't show this wee bit of understanding for someone else, that's me out. That's it. It's game's over. And I'm kind of like, I don't know that I'm wanting to spend too much more time there if the compassion's not there.
I think as well, it's different at different times. If you've got a friend that you know is going through something difficult, you're more forgiving. It could be hard work, but you accept that that's
Mhm.
because they're going through a tough time. And that's about understanding the other person,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
So I think all those things make a difference. And people that you've known for years and years and years, you may not see them all the time, but you meet up with them again and you automatically fall back into
It's lovely.
where you were, however long ago it was you
Yeah.
met them. Yeah. Remembering who someone is and who they are. And sometimes they need you to put a bit more work in because they're falling behind. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's a really good point there, June, that you were making. And it's asking yourself, what kind of friend am I? Not just what kind of friend are they being to
For
me,
sure.
but
Mhm.
am I being a good friend as well? And it's just having that self-awareness as well, to not judge your friends, to be there for them, to check in with them. Yeah, I think that's a really good point you were making there, June. Yeah, asking yourself if you're being a good friend too, and not just wondering the quality of the friendships that you're being offered.
I think it's something what it's. I was just thinking when I was listening, I have friends in Switzerland, in Italy, in Germany, in Scotland, in England, and it's even a little bit cultural different, but it's very interesting because if you have a friend, you're really really lucky
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
because it's something what it's so important.
Yeah.
And I met people they've seen something on Facebook about me and they came back. People I haven't spoken maybe for 10 years and they're back in my life. But it's beautiful. And other ones I haven't spoken before and now they're friends. So it's really something, yeah. But what do I bring in to a friendship? I think honesty,
Mhm. Yep.
showing them exactly, and also speaking about it, how I feel in the sense of if something is not okay. It's important maybe to clear the plate because in the past I was starting to ghost people because
Yeah.
I was worried about telling them exactly how I was feeling. And if it's an important friend, you shouldn't ghost anyone. But sometimes you try to avoid,
And I
try not
think
to say.
we're talking about that in another episode, aren't we? No, but that's a really good thing. It's just to kind of give you guys a teaser out there so that you'll listen to the next ones. Because I think that that's so important about the ghosting parts. You can ghost a relationship, but you can't ghost a friendship, right? And what I want to ask is, see, loyalty, right? And I'm talking time served. I'm not talking you're in the jail with this person, right? But time served. So if you've got loyalty and time served in friendships, what happens if you've got somebody from years and years back that you're friends with, right? And they don't fit any more of those values, and you can't really go about ghosting them because they're family and they've made it into the sort of fibres of who you are. How is it that it's a tricky one, I guess, isn't it? How is it you handle those friendships? I'm not going to answer this first because I'll need to think about my answer.
I mean,
I'm just thinking about like past situations I've had where I had a friend that I was very, very close to, and then our lives kind of took different paths and we had different priorities, and we didn't see very much of each other for quite a long time. But then we came back together, it was a few years ago now, and it's like we were always friends, which is really, really nice. But then I've had other friends. I had a friend who was a very close friend, and lots of things, it's terrible, lots of things in her life changed. And she took on different ideas and values. And in the end, it was her that made the decision not to be my friend anymore, which was that was the decision made, but it was a relief in a way because it had become untenable.
can I ask how that was handled, June? Was it a conversation you both had, or
She'd become more and more, let's say, demanding of time, and something happened. There was an incident where she decided that I'd made things difficult, but hadn't. I'd explained my situation. And it was about she'd bought tickets for a concert or something, and I'd said, "Well, I don't know if I can go. I don't know." And then in the end, she got really cross about it, and she did a lot of things that were sort of like, I guess, would have been messing about. And then she just got angry and she just walked off and left me sitting. And I felt that I should have been more honest all along, which is easy in retrospect, but maybe if I'd been more honest all along, I should have said, "You're behaving really badly, not just to me, but I don't know what's going on," but she was behaving really badly. And I think that maybe I should have said that a lot earlier. But in the end, it was just like, right, okay, that's where we are now. Just leave it. Yeah.
I think I've been outgrown and have outgrown friendships in the sense of that I still have friendly feelings, but I'm not really looking forward to have close relationships in the sense of people what I love, but it's not something that I want to spend a lot of time. And somehow makes me sad, but I understand also that life it's changing continuously. And it's not just my life changing, it's also their life changing. And we all are somehow we are swimming in this ocean, but not always close. And sometimes we have the idea it's quite comfortable for other people, it's not. So I have outgrown people and I've been outgrown by friends. Absolutely. And it's making space for new ones. Because then I have the space to look around and saying, maybe something changed in me dramatically. That friend for many, many years doesn't see me anymore the same way. But it's giving me an opening door and doing something completely different. I like the idea that sometimes changes are a growth.
I think that's a lovely way of looking at it, isn't it? The idea of just gently outgrowing each other and, exploring different paths.
I like that too. I think that that spiritual woo-woo side of me sees the parts where you've got somebody in, and I want to say in your energy, like they're in your kind of in your circles, but sometimes just as life happens or situations, circumstances, maybe new ways of being, or maybe new learnings or whatever become bigger, or people move out of the circles. But what I quite like is that sometimes that people go into that ebb and flow of coming back in, kind of like what you said earlier on, June, the people that you can pick up with like nothing, like no time has happened, like no time has moved on, and you can pick up and you can have a conversation of, oh, here, how did you get on with blah blah blah? Oh, it was years ago. Oh, haha, this happened as well. And it's so nice because just that, as I was saying earlier on, effortlessness of being yourself, the effortlessness not to have to perform or just to enjoy your friends for who your friends are. And when I was saying there, the loyalty and the time served in friendships, does that give people passes? I think it's important for us as well just to remember who our friends are and why it is that we chose them as friends, because it's lovely to be just having that wee moment of gratitude for the people that we love and we connect with in our lives. Like everybody says, there's also that point of growing out of, changing, moving on from. But Daniela, have you got something else to add on to that? Are you?
I was just thinking, even growing out, it's not saying that it's over, because there are people that are probably a little bit scared to come back in because they don't recognize me anymore. But I know that there is a space to come back, because friends, it's something very special to me. You understand me, Anne, because it's really hard when you have also when you have nobody, and it's like, am I just sitting here and nobody recognizes me, nobody knows who I am, nobody has any idea. And having friends, and even if they're difficult, and I can be very difficult at times, and having friends who are like, okay, she has one of these days. Okay, Daniela, it's
We're
it's
yet to
nice.
see one of those days from Daniela,
No,
to be
but
honest. She's
I
given
have
herself
done
a
them.
hard
I
time
have
there.
done them.
I think what it is I think it's this human want for connection, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of weaves all of our friendships together. That
It's a big driver, isn't it?
it is. It's huge driver for us from the moment that we're born. I guess even if we go back and all the way to the cavemen days, it's that connection,
Community.
yeah, it's the gathering, it's the
Safety in numbers. Yeah.
it's the storytelling, it's the concern for others, it's the compassion for others, the kindness, or sometimes, what can this person do to help me? But sometimes we don't enjoy asking for help. Anybody else got anything to add on to connection?
I think connection is so important, and I see lots of people that are lonely. And I remember, and I am probably going through now a lonely phase in my life, and it's so I'm so grateful to have you three and other people in my life, and it's just it's keeping everything a little bit healthy, mind, body, and spirit healthy. And I don't believe in the lone wolf. I always think about a pack of wolves. Well, I prefer sheep, but anyway.
That's the Swiss in you, isn't it? That is definitely the Swiss in you. Prefer sheep.
Then wolves. Yep.
Anyone else got anything for connection?
Well, it's one what it's keeping our mental health really healthy. So connection, and it's maybe sometimes it's really important to look at different options how you can connect, because I'm sure there are lots of people out there they're struggling because work is very very busy. They're having lots of things going on, and how do you connect with people?
Yeah.
Where do you find people? Because I don't think going to the pub, it's something where you find people to connect straight away. I'm not sure, because I was thinking about this. How would I connect with people?
It's kind of like what I was saying earlier on at the start, isn't it? You wouldn't chat the person's door who's just moved in and saying, I remember being a kid, right, and somebody new came onto the street and you were like, oh man, I wonder if they'll play a game of Kirby with me. You can't really chat your neighbour's door at whatever age and say you fancy a game of Kirby. Do you want a cup of tea? They might be like, oh, stay out my space. And I think for a lot of people, they've got their friends, and I think that a lot of this stuff goes back round as well, can come back round to COVID and us having that sense of disconnection where we all connected online, where we connected through the phone, where we weren't to have this face-to-face connection. That was really hard for me. I decided the first 2 weeks into lockdown that maybe I was an introvert. Right, I was like, saying to Martin, my husband, maybe I'm an introvert. Maybe that's what this is all about. Maybe that's what I'm learning. I'm introverted. And I'll go for my walk over the park on my own. It'll be a nice mindful walk, and I'll listen to the birds. And I've done this for maybe about 2 weeks, and then by day 4 or 5, I was like, I'm not an introvert. And then I realised that we're just hovering about the house with each other and getting in each other's way and waiting to see who was making the next cup of tea. I am not introverted at all, but I can remember just that real need for connection. And I mean in-person connection.
Yeah.
The Zoom stuff was fine, the online stuff was
Mhm.
fine. It sometimes turned into a bit of a rammy when you had too many wines and you're on with your friends, but it's not like face-to-face connection,
No.
is it? There's nothing like
There's
sitting
nothing
next
like
to
it.
somebody and giving them a wee cuddle, Adrian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm I think what you said there, Michelle, about people already having their friends, I think that's a big barrier as adults to making new friends a bit later on in life. If people already have established friendships, whether those friendships are working for them still or not, people will hold on and hold on
Mhm.
to friends because it's what they know,
It's
isn't
that
it?
time served thing
Yeah.
again, isn't
Uh-huh.
it? You hold on, you'll be like, all right, okay, I'll hang on in here.
But what about the new person that's just moved to the country and is looking to make new friendships? I suppose you could ask yourself, are you open to letting these new people in, or are you holding on to
Oh,
these time served friendships?
I
hmm
sometimes Martin will actually say to me if we're in the supermarket, do you know that person? I'll make pals with him.
Yeah.
And but I think that often in the past, and I'm talking about Martin here, who will be listening and editing this, so apologies. But he has said in the past, I envy you that, because for me, communication is my big thing. I can communicate, and I feel it ease to communicate with people, but I do know that some people struggle with that,
Mhm.
and I don't think about it. It's just something that is a natural thing for me to do. So I have to check myself sometimes to be like, that person might not want me just pure being like, hi, da, da, da. But I get it, because making a friend as an
Mhm.
adult is difficult. Is it groups, clubs, classes?
For me, having young children
Mm.
helped massively. I think it was the game changer for me. Having young children gave me the opportunity to go to kids' classes, meet parents at the school gate. Yeah, that really helped for the next chapter of my life after my sort of youth and not having children to moving away and coming back. Young
A new
children, yeah,
identity as a mum
starting
as
all over
well,
again.
eh?
Yes,
Aye.
uh-huh.
That new identity, as I guess a lot of people have that mum first
Yeah.
and then other roles
Well,
separate.
that's it. If you make friends with other mums, they understand the struggle. They know the restraints on your time, and so that really helps.
Yeah, I had a lot of friends who, when my children were younger, a lot of my friends were other mums, people that you met at the school gate, or people where your kids had shared interests. Yeah, but now I think I'm I'm building up a community of people that I know through different activities that I go to. But I find as well, when you're quite a bit older, it's much more of a slow burner, and it does take longer to. I think we're all a bit more cautious as we
Yeah.
get older.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A bit reluctant.
yeah. Mm.
I like the saying, a stranger is a friend you haven't met yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I probably life pushed me that I need just to go out and try to
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
who I could connect with. And I like this saying. I think
Yeah.
that's for
Mm.
me, yeah, because I otherwise I need to adopt a dog or a
Mm.
child, because not having one or the other one,
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
people don't see you.
yeah.
So
I like that
That's a
as
good
well.
point.
That is. I love the quote, friendships are the families that we get to
Mhm.
choose for ourselves. because I think that's it with friendships, isn't it? It's that sense of family and connection, but you've got to choose it. You've not just been, all right, here you are, planted. I am a member of this family. And you're right, Daniela, when you said at the start, in Scotland, it does feel like a bit of a clan.
Mhm.
That's my pal. But our friendships fiercely are the family that we
Mhm.
get to choose for ourselves. And will we wrap up here?
Mhm.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything else they want to add to friendships?
I think just when I was listening to the conversation, the bottom line, I think, is shared energy.
Mhm.
What are we putting out and what are we attracting back? A lot of the points that we were making, especially you, Daniela, have beautiful energy. I'm not surprised you've managed to make a bucket load of friends that you'll carry with you wherever you decide to go.
Oh,
But
right, that's episode 1 that Daniela's already greeting.
But yeah,
That's just
I
lovely.
think energy, I
Thank
think
you.
the energy, what we're putting out and what we're attracting back to us.
Yeah, and I think that's the same for everything, isn't it? What is it that you're putting out, but what are you getting back? Because it's not just about what you're getting, it's about what you're giving.
Mhm.
And that's lovely, and I like that.
Mm.
Well, that's us for episode 1, and we'll catch you again for 4 Shades of Reality, where you'll be able to tune in and connect with us and hear what we've got to say. But if you like, you can leave a comment in the comments section. We'd love to hear what you've got to say around friendships or anything else in that matter, maybe even other podcasts that you think that you'd like us to talk about in the future. But over and out, that's us for now. Catch you later.